On ESPN. Welcome to the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma for today's NCAA Gymnastics season opener for the four-time NCAA champs, the Oklahoma Sooners, as they welcome the six-time NCAA champions, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Conner along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. So excited to get the 2022 season underway, and what a great matchup we have here with these two iconic programs. Now their storylines are quite different at this point. Alabama peaked at the right time last year, winning the SEC championship. They only have to replace two routines from last year's team. Now the Oklahoma Sooners have to replace a full 1/3 of their performances due to the graduation of some of their superstar athletes.
So Alabama comes in hungry. They just missed out last year, making it into that Final Four at the championships, and they thought they should be there. And Oklahoma, I tell you what, they like to come out hot.
Yes.
They have increased their roster to 21 gymnasts. A lot of fresh faces, a lot of new talent. They think they have what it takes.
All right, let's look back at the season for the Crimson Tide last year. Of course, as I mentioned, they peaked at just the right time, winning their 10th SEC championship in an upset over LSU and Florida. Finished 5th at the NCAA championships, and they had two NCAA individual champions. Lexi Graber earned a share of the floor title, and Luisa Blanco won the balance beam.
And Oklahoma had a roller coaster season, but finished strong as NCAA runner-up in their 8th consecutive appearance in the finals, led by Anastasia Webb, who won the coveted all-around crown and 2 individual event titles. 6 Sooners earned a total of 15 All-American honors to cap off the 2021 season.
Now this year we're excited to welcome a new member to our broadcast team. She, of course, is world and Olympic medalist Sam Pesek. Welcome, Sam. Tell us, Sam, what do you find most compelling about today's matchup?
Thanks, Bart. Well, I'm excited to join this illustrious team. For me, the story is who is going to be stepping up for this young OU team. They have 8 competitive routines they need to replace. And, of course, Anastasia Webb, those are some tough shoes to fill, but I'm thinking Audrey Davis and freshman Jordan Bowers are the ladies for the job. They're projected in the all-around today, and we should expect to see them consistently throughout this season. But when I spoke to head coach KJ Kindler, she said that even her upperclassmen are inexperienced since they haven't had a quote-unquote normal season. We'll see what they do today here, Bart.
Thank you, Sam. All right, when we come back to Norman, Oklahoma, we'll get underway here. It's the Oklahoma Sooners. They'll open up on the vault. Alabama will be on the bars. And welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Alabama visiting Oklahoma today in the season opener. Quick reminder for those who just saw their last gymnastics, it might have been the Olympics. The rules in collegiate gymnastics are quite a bit different. 6 gymnasts per team compete on each event. The best 5 scores will count towards the team total on that event. After all Fab 4 apparatus, the team with the highest cumulative score wins. The home team gets what we call the Olympic order: vault, bars, beam, and floor. The away team gets the opposite of that. They start on bars and have to finish on beam. Oklahoma opens up with Audrey Davis on the vault.
Opens with a Yurchenko full, really well done. Nice flared out position. Those arms went out to the side when she finished the full twist. Nice amplitude. That's a 995 start value vault. All throughout the season, you're going to see this balance between risk and reward. Some of the gymnasts will do 10-0 start values. Of course, that's an advantage unless they make a mistake on a more difficult vault.
Audrey Davis, the sophomore from Frisco, Texas. She had a superb freshman year last year. For Alabama, opening up on bars is Ella Burgess, who missed all of last year because of an Achilles injury. Glad to have her back.
This is Emily Gaskins. Actually,
they've
changed.
They're just changing lineups.
Emily Gaskins doing a beautiful job. You want to see uneven bars that look effortless. Swing, nice straight body in these giants. Look at the toe point, beautiful toe point. Little soft in the knees, and what a finish. That is a college salute, everyone, at the end of that stuck landing.
Great job for Emily Gaskin. Sorry for mixing that up at the beginning. Both teams have been adjusting their lineup since the warm-up. Back now to vault for the Oklahoma Sooners. And this is Sheridan Ramsey out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That was some beautiful form in a layout full. Again, the 995 start value. The judges are looking for good amplitude, good flight. You want to see height and distance away from the table. And I really liked her straight legs. Really nice straight body in that layout position.
Ramsey was out of competition last year, had an injury. Great to see her competing for the Sooners, and that will be their storyline this year. How and who steps up to replace some of those outstanding performances from people like Anastasia Webb, who was a guaranteed 9.95 better at the end of the lineup all career long. Maddie Walagora, the junior for Alabama, will be competing next up. Waiting on the score for Emily Gaskins, the sophomore senior from Coral Springs, Florida. She herself has stepped up as quite a bit of a leader. And last year she competed a great deal in beam and floor, so good to see her getting the call today to have a chance to do the bars. She gets a 9.825 to lead off the Crimson Tide.
And Maddie Walagora has a gorgeous dismount planned. It is one of the most difficult skills in college gymnastics, a double layout with a full twist. She'll open the routine with a nice combination. This is a giant swing to a blind chain. She's got to finish this pirouette right on top of the bar, right in that handstand for no deduction. Straddle Jaeger, just a little flexed feet as she made the regress.
It's one of the best events for the Crimson Tide. They were outstanding last year as well.
Here it comes, two giants preceding, two flips, one twist, and really excellent job. Just that hop back, they'll have to take a deduction there. But the difficulty level of that dismount, just spectacular. Judges sit right on the side. They need to see a vertical position in that handstand, and more than that, a tight back, no angle in the hips and shoulders, and just that little hop. But look how high her chest was on that landing.
Kat Lavasser will be next up. Audrey Davis and Sheridan Ramsey both had 9.775.
Here's our first look at the 1.5 twist.
Wow.
That's a 10-0 start value, and wow, what a start. She is deceivingly powerful.
Right.
She doesn't look like she's going to really blast off, and with technique, nice quick speed down the runway, she converts it with this round off onto the board, reaches back. She could get a little bit more blunt to get more height, but you can hardly do that landing any better.
She averaged over 9.9 last year for the Sooners, the sophomore from San Antonio. I think all of these athletes are just relieved to get the season going. We've talked to many of the coaches about the preseason preparation, and it's strange for coaches because they have to have one foot on the gas pedal and one on the brake because they're adjusting to COVID issues, they're adjusting to injuries, and even these last-minute lineup changes. I think we're going to see a lot of this in the next couple of months.
I think you're right.
Back to the bars now. Shania Adams, outstanding year she had for Alabama last year.
Her best event, and she can really float these flight elements from bar to bar. Look for the shape in the air when they release the bar. You want to see that ideal shape, legs together, toes pointed throughout. That full pirouette could have been a little bit more on top. Wow, great job though on that dismount. Nice landing.
Hats off to Shania for keeping composure. They're going crazy here in the Lloyd Noble Arena because guess what? Kat Lavasser got a 10, coming after two 9.775s for Davis and Ramsey. She was rewarded for her excellent technique and controlled landing on that 10-0 start value. What a way to kick off 2022.
The season is young. I think that's the first 10 nationwide.
For sure.
We're going to see many.
Senior Allie Stern now, vault specialist.
And she is a dynamic vault specialist. Look at that. She has improved on her form. Well, judges, oh my gosh.
What are you going to do now?
Wow. Okay, so excellent amplitude. She got a nice block off this table. A little bit of an angle in her shoulder, but sufficient amplitude. And look at the control on that landing.
How about that? You know, we talked to KJ Kindler the other day, and she said right now their weakest event is vault in terms of depth, but that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, and those kind of landings, that can be contagious. It just raises the level of anticipation if they can stay patient.
And a 10 for Allie Stern as well, as Cameron Machado mounts the bars, the sophomore for the Crimson Tide.
Cam is keeping her focus. Little leg separation on those first 2 skills on bars, but she has beautiful technique on this event. Look at the floaty Van Leeuwen from low bar to high bar. Oh, a little bit over on that full pirouette. They really want to see it finish on top of the bar, but another excellent landing.
Machado competed in the uneven bars lineup all year long last year for the Crimson Tide. Averaged about 9.863. Wow, what a start we have here in Norman, Oklahoma. I did not expect to see 10s this early in the season. And what about this young lady coming up, Jordan Bowers, the exciting freshman out of Nebraska. Boy, KJ Kindler was raving about her coming into this season. She could be the kind of athlete that actually does replace Anastasia Webb.
Absolutely. Watch the power on this vault. Excellent. Oh, no.
Man.
Just got a little bit cautious is what happened. Instead of just blasting a big vault, I think the excitement of having 2 stuck vaults before her, 10-0s, and she's a freshman. But make no mistake, this is a talented gymnast, and we're going to see great things from her.
There is KJ Kindler in her 16th season as Oklahoma head coach, 4-time national champion in the last 7 championships, and one of only 2 active coaches in NCAA to have coached a national championship team. The other one being Bev Plotke, the head coach at Michigan, who led the Wolverines to their title last year. Talk about outstanding young gymnast, Luisa Blanco. What a year she had last year, Kathy, as a sophomore. She had shoulder surgery in the off-season, so she's not doing the all-around tonight, but she's superb on the 3 events she will do.
She is the complete package. She has superb technique on all of these elements. Little bit over on that cast half-turn pirouette on the low bar. Little bit shy of the handstand. These are things that will improve all the way through the season. But look at the form, just picture perfect in the air, tight top twist, and can find that landing. The maturity that I see in this athlete, the experience that she gained last year, it's just so evident in her work. Look at that, up above the bar. She finishes the skill up at the level of the high bar and drops it in for a great landing.
Talk about changing lineups. How about this? May Lynn Sullivan gets the call now for the Sooners on the vault. That's another added performer.
This will be a full, and a very pretty full. She was a little bit piked, not quite high enough. Anytime you see a gymnast pike down to make the landing, it's usually insufficient height or distance or rotation or both.
Alabama finished the season ranked 8th on bars, and when I spoke to head coach Dana Duckworth, she said, we have our entire lineup last year back with the addition of strong freshmen, and I believe we can rival any team in the country. They're going to need to do that here tonight, especially with these 10s we're seeing on vault. Bart, she's fired up about this event.
All scores 9-8 and higher for Alabama, the highest being Cam Machado's 9.875. Luisa Blanco got a 9.85. That brings up Makari Doggett, the junior from Ohio. Number 2 returning score on uneven bars for the Crimson Tide, averaged 9.931. And she was one of the SEC uneven bar co-champions in a 3-way tie last year.
And she opens this routine with a big, beautiful combination. Very difficult, a single bar release right here called a Tkachev. Look at the height, and right into the pack salto, another flight element. Transition down to low bar. Little bit off on that pirouette on low bar. Nice job finessing that final handstand. Look at the straight body and the double layout.
Nice.
Gorgeous in the air, just that hop back.
So Alabama much more consistent on the first event than the Sooners, that's for sure. All their scores 9.8 plus, and expect a big score for Makari Doggett. Jordan Bowers got only a 9.35 and Maylin Sullivan a 9.75. We'll update the team scores when we come back to Norman, Oklahoma. Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Peshek, Oklahoma with a very slight lead of 5/100ths of a point after the first rotation, largely because of those 210s. Talk about a season we have coming up on the ESPN family of networks. Look at this, 37 meets we'll have, 17 teams from 4 different conferences, 12 Olympic team members from 5 countries are entering into NCAA competition this year, and the teams we'll have on the air have won a total of 40 combined NCAA team championships. It's going to be a spectacular season. Let's go down to Sam Pesci.
Thanks, Bart. I'm excited to bring you guys different stories all season long, including my conversation with the reigning national beam champion from Alabama, Luisa Blanco. She's beauty, she's grace, and she's so humble. Coming up next. Luisa Blanco from the University of Alabama had a standout sophomore season. She's the reigning national beam champion, just as a highlight. Luisa, what did it mean to you to have so much success last year?
I think the biggest thing was I took it a day at a time, and I really have to thank my teammates and my coaches. I seriously couldn't have done it without them. They were my rock through it all.
Do you have a support system that you lean on during season?
I think definitely my family. They've been through it all with me. I have the privilege to be the first one in my family to, get an education, go to college, and I hold that really dear into my heart.
That's incredible. And with all of the success you had last year, do you feel a little bit of pressure to produce this season?
I mean, the pressure is always going to be there, but it's just noise at the end of the day. I just have to stay true to myself and trust the process. I have amazing coaches who are there by my side. They care for me not only as a gymnast, but a person. I have 16 amazing sisters who I know have my back. They've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So just taking it day by day.
Well, Luisa is incredibly impressive. She ended the 2021 regular season ranked in the top 25 on every apparatus in the all-around, but she will not be competing vault here tonight. They're managing her shoulder, and they're wanting to be conservative at the beginning of the season. But it is notable to mention, since Alabama will be missing a score from the 2021 SEC vault champion tonight. Bart?
Thank you, Sam. Emily Gaskins warming up here and set to go now.
Doing a Yurchenko full, much bigger vault than she did in warm-ups. Couldn't quite handle the higher vault with more rotation, so had a big block, a big jump out of it.
Interesting contrast to see what happens here with Alabama. Oklahoma had the 210s on vault, but all the other scores were under 9.8. Talk about, all the coaches are expecting some kind of hot and cold performances, especially this early in the year, Kathy.
There's so much excitement, there was so much anticipation to just get this thing going.
Right.
You don't know until you're there how you're going to react in this situation.
Well, Kat Lavasser, she reacted pretty well with a great start on vault, a 10, and this is another event where she is just flat out superb. Well, last year she averaged 9.925.
And she is a type A personality, perfection to the max, so she really pays attention to the detail. Nice form, slight little flex feet as she caught the bar. But look how she glues those legs together, feet stay together, the toes stay pointed, right up to that handstand. Sets up the dismount here, double layout.
Nice.
Boy, I tell you what, there is something about that inner gyroscope going right now. She knows where the ground is, where her body is, and she's finding those landings. Right there, the feet flex as she catches the bar, but these are little things, tiny deductions. Nice job keeping those legs together in a difficult double layout.
Incredible start for the Sooners on the event that they feel is their strongest of the 4 this season. Shania Adams, who is one of 2 all-arounders competing for Alabama today, along with Maddie Walagora.
And I know Shania trains a 1.5 twist. She's going to do the full here, capitalize on getting a big vault, try to get that landing. There was a little bit of pike throughout, so the judges are looking for a completely straight body with open hips throughout the entire vault for perfection.
She is one of 3 Alabama gymnasts who shared that SEC uneven bars title, along with Makari Doggett and Luisa Blanco last year. What a season she had. She's just a sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, the former U.S. national team member, just shining in collegiate gymnastics these days. Danielle Sievers will be next up for the Sooners. Kat Levasseur score is a 9.85 to lead them off.
And a lot of people have awaited this moment to see her in college gymnastics. Starts out with a nice handstand on low bar. The Maloney transition, nice transition down to the pack salto on low bar. A little bit wonky on that pirouette on low bar. Nice patience though. Good rhythm, a little bit of pike in those giants and in the handstand, but look at that.
Nice.
Tell you what, when you stick a dismount, that final thing that the judges sees, that just can sway them so well. Nice punctuation point.
Here's our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Luka and the Mavs square off against Julius Randle and the Knicks at 7:30 Eastern. Then DeMar DeRozan is playing at an MVP caliber level right now. He and the Bulls host former MVPs KD and James Harden and the Nets. Our NBA doubleheader is available on ESPN and the app. One app, one tap. Jordan Paradise, the freshman for the Sooners.
With the Yurchenko full. Well done. That's her best vault that I've seen in the warm-ups. And now, so came up big in the competition. So one of the things we've been talking about in preseason is how many teams are going to put forward 10-0 vaults start values. Michigan last year won all 6 10-0 start value vaults. Oklahoma has been known to do that as well. Alabama in the preseason was really trying to get those 10-0 start value vaults. I think we'll see them as the season progresses.
Carrie Thomas now the senior from Florida for the Sooners.
Nice blind change to a straddle Jaeger. Really emphasizes closing her legs in that handstand. See a little bit of pike in her straight body work, but wow, they are dialed in on these landings. I'm really impressed with Oklahoma, the use of their drills. They really drill shapes in the air so that they can be in the proper position and drop those landings in.
Jordan Paradise, the freshman from Tampa, Florida, was only in the vault scheduled today for Alabama. She did a nice job. Her score comes in at 9.775.
Maddie Wallagora had some issues with this vault in warm-ups. She was under-rotating them, not quite getting her hands back fast enough and hard enough to block. Let's see if she can get it. Stays almost on her feet. Still just a bit under-rotated.
You know, a lesser athlete would sit that vault down because you're right. She didn't quite have the proper block, but she adjusted beautifully in the air and at least stayed on her feet.
Absolutely. She just needs to get those arms back so that her arms a little straighter, a little less angle, get a little more pop off that table. But I love the fight because she really struggled in warm-ups and she just stayed at it and was determined to get that to her feet.
Scores for Alabama on vault, a 9.725 for Gaskin, Shania Adams a 9.8. Paradise 9.775. There's 2 9.85s in a row for the Sooners after Kat Levasseur's. Danielle Sievers got one as well. Reagan Smith looks ready to go now.
And Bart, you and I talked about Reagan, and we really think this can be her year. She's had some issues with some injuries, but everything just seems to be coming together. And this bar routine, she's going to open with a really nice, difficult combination, the single bar release move, into another release down to the low bar.
It's interesting, we were talking to KJ Kindler about her the other day, and she said she's a junior, but she's never really had a full collegiate experience. Her freshman season was cut short, even though the Sooners were undefeated going into the postseason. No championship that year. Last year was strange with all the stops and starts and, you know, conference-only competitions in the SEC and no crowds or limited crowds. So, you know, they're all keeping their fingers crossed that all of these athletes get a fairly normal season this year.
We hope so, because there is nothing like competing in front of your home crowd. The energy that it creates in the arena, just that support week after week, because it's a very long season for these athletes. I'm certain the delay is probably a start value issue with the judges. They have to agree when they assess the routine on that start value before they can judge it. So here's that big ray right off the bat. She's going to toe on here, go backwards over the bar. Very well done.
Nice.
Nice combination into the pack salto. Much better. That's the best half pirouette we've seen on the low bar so far. Finessing those handstands really well. Double layout.
Oh.
Wow. Great landing. That dismount has improved so much since last year. She's still got a little bit of a pike open pike, but so much nicer. The amplitude's there. The rotation is much better. She maintains a straighter body for longer. And look at that money on that landing.
Alabama's Gina Quinlan is in her first season as the assistant coach for the Tide, and vault is her main event that she's coaching. I had a chance to ask her what she's bringing to the vault team this year, and she said increasing amplitude shapes and increasing their sticking consistency. She also said roundoffs have been a huge focus during the preseason, specifically turning over those roundoffs.
Kari Doggett.
Big vault, a little too big, more than she was anticipating. Couldn't quite get the landing, but a difficult 1.5 twist vault.
For her, Maddie Wellagora, 9.625. So far, the highest score for Alabama on vault is Shania Adams, 9.8.
Just a little bit late to open up and didn't quite hit that shape that Sam was telling us about, and that's what they're really working on, finding those shapes in the air to get the landings.
Well, again, only did one vault last year for the Crimson Tide, had a 9.875. Jordan Bowers now ready to go for Oklahoma. There's a bit of a scoring issue, a technical issue with the scoring iPads. So we'll update you the scores as soon as we get them from the rest of the lineup.
Another Ray release move, just like her teammate Reagan. Here's the pack salto. Really nice, calm work on the bars. Nice to see her rebound.
Oh.
Look at that, showing off the final handstand. Into the dismount, a full twisting double back, just a little adjustment step on the landing. I think the switch there was she was trying, what KJ asked them to do is be aggressive. Don't try to be perfect. It's the first meet, but look, that's a perfect handstand. She almost wavered and went over, but right here, she just hit the big dismount. We'll get the stick later. Nice comeback.
Before her, Reagan Smith had a 9.875. And now we're back to vault. This is Lexi Graber. 9.85 was the score for Makari Doggett before her.
And this can be huge. Look at the height and distance on that vault. She had everything but the landing. Her legs gave out just a little bit. We saw her in the warm-ups land a little awkwardly on beam on that foot and really walked off gingerly. So I think there may be a little bit of an issue with the foot, and she's protecting it here. Over-rotate the vault. Don't try to jam it in for the stick. And her legs just gave out a little bit and took that step forward.
Lexi Graber, the graduate, decided to take advantage of that extra year offered to senior athletes because of COVID issues, and and yet there are still 5 other seniors on the team at Alabama. Here is the remarkable Audrey Davis.
Oh, look at the beautiful handstand to begin. Very difficult Higgins turn into that release move that is just so spectacular. The combination of her technique, the amplitude in her flight. Now watch this. Everybody's been waiting for to add this half twist on the dismount right here. Double front, half twist, and you know what? That was a phenomenal routine. It had everything. So some gymnasts just really go above and beyond in the different areas. Level of difficulty, technique, form, amplitude, execute, everything. She has it all.
Last year averaged 9.95, the top scorer all season long for the Sooners on that event. And you can see why Oklahoma is excited about their bar lineup for the 2022 season. All right, let's go down to Sam Pesic. She's with Dana.
Thanks, Bart. Dana, you guys are looking great so far in this meet. You told me you wanted them to go big or go home. How are they doing so far?
Oh, I thought bars started off very aggressive. I was very proud of how they attacked their handstands, really trusted their preparation. And then over to vault, we've had a lot of shifts this week, and I thought they're adapting really well to whatever we're throwing at them. And so again, it's getting the kinks out of being competitive, and I thought they were doing a great job. We just got to stay focused and really fierce.
Thanks, Bart.
Thank you to head coach Dana Duckworth. You're doing a fine job at Alabama, and thank you, Sem. All right, well, that is the halfway point in this gymnastics meet. The teams will move to the next 2 rotations. Third rotation includes the beam and the floor exercise. Oklahoma on the beam, and Alabama goes to the floor.
Teach those Bulldogs to behave.
Good luck, guys. Go get them dogs. Roll Tide.
Tomorrow, number 3 Georgia takes on number 1 Alabama at 8 Eastern on ESPN in the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. We'll have pregame coverage all day, and for this matchup, we'll have you covered from every platform. Don't miss the biggest game of the year. Well, Oklahoma had their own national champion last year, and what a spectacular season Anastasia Webb had, Kathy.
To say she had a fairy tale finish to her remarkable career is an understatement. She put together 4 stellar events and performed each one with uncanny precision, polished presentation, signature moves, unique style, and from start to finish, it was a night to remember.
Look at this, NCAA all-around champion, vault and floor champion, 5 first-team All-America honors, Honda Award winner for the sport of gymnastics, and the Big 12 Co-Gymnast of the Year. Talk about going out on a bright note. When we come back, we'll talk to KJ Kindler about the outlook for the Oklahoma Sooners in her 16th season.
Head coach of the University of Oklahoma, earning that runner-up finish last year. How do you evaluate that season?
Wow, how do you evaluate 2021? It was a roller coaster ride from beginning to end, but for our team, it was a year that we really struggled with our depth. So at the end of the season, we had 6 walk-on routines out on the floor, 25% of our routines. We didn't have as many people available as we had hoped, but it couldn't have ended better for us. Like for us, I know everyone will say we were the runner-up, but it was a win for us personally.
What's the focus here in the early season for you guys?
Yeah. In the early season, we're just wanting to get our feet wet right now. We need to get out there. We need to start competing. We need to see where we're at. We have a lot of youth on our team, but we have an incredible amount of potential. So I don't know what this team could accomplish, but I can tell you this, they have worked and prepared so well. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds.
Here is the meet summary at the halfway point. 2 10s on vault for the Oklahoma Sooners, helped them recover from 4 lower scores. Had a slight lead by 5 1/100ths of a point. They extended their lead though over a little more than a half a point. over Alabama after an outstanding rotation on the bars for the Sooners. So KJ Kindler giving a couple of notes to Jenna Dunn, the local girl who is about set to lead off beam in the opening meet of the season for the OU Sooners as they welcome the iconic program, the Crimson Tide. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Pesic, and here we go for the second half of this competition. It'll feature balance beam and floor. And
Jenna stepped into that leadoff role when Olivia Troutman was out the whole first part of the season, as she is right now, but we hope to see her come back as the season progresses. Jenna is so calm and so solid on this event. Exactly what you need in leadoff.
You mentioned Olivia Troutman. This is the third year in a row where she hasn't been able to start with the Oklahoma Sooners. 2 years, foot injuries, and then this year she's dealing with tendonitis in her knee.
Very important triple series here. Back handspring, layout, step out. It's one of the ways the gymnasts earn the bonus necessary for their routine to add up to a 10-0 start value.
Competed on beam 14 out of 16 meets last year and had 399 plus scores.
Judges also really look very closely at those leaps and jumps to make sure they hit the 180-degree split in the air. And if it's a turning leap, they have to finish that half turn at the height of the jump before they land. Nice job in leadoff.
Great start for the season for Jenna Dunn from Oklahoma City.
So as I said, you earn bonus here. She does 3 elements back to back to back down the length of the balance beam. Very, very solid. Could be a little bit higher on that layout just to show off some amplitude there, but what a nice, calm, solid routine.
I love what KJ Kindler says about her. I like her in the leadoff spot because I can trust her. Emily Gaskins now leading off, the senior from Florida now for Alabama. You see their lineup. Remember, 6 athletes will compete. Just the top 5 scores out of those 6 will count towards their team total in this rotation.
Problem with the music. So this gives me a moment. Emily is actually, she has 2 routines that she can perform this year. This new one, which is the one, once they get the music right, she will perform. As she describes it, it's inspired by all her past routines, and also she grew up doing ballet with her older sisters, and she wanted to go back to her roots. So you're going to see a lot of ballet in this routine. Opens with a combination pass, front through to a double back. Oop, a little off. Several bounces on that landing. Very difficult leg up turn into a difficult jump as well. Lovely positions in her leaps. Finishes with a pike double back. Good control. Couldn't quite see if she stepped over the line. Lovely choreography. Lost her balance just a little bit there at the end, but this is going to be a beautiful routine for her to polish throughout the season. And she had a few hops on this tumbling pass. Right here, over-rotates it and just steps over the line. You can land on the line.
Let's go down to Sam Pesic.
Up next on Beam is Jordan Bowers, and after talking to KJ Kindler, she could not say enough good things about this freshman. You gotta love a good comeback story. Jordan had to sit out of the sport for years due to an injury, but that's not the reason why KJ likes her so much. She said what makes her special is her confidence and her swagger, and specifically when she makes a mistake, she's able to brush it off and keep going. We saw that after the first event. Let's see it here on Beam.
You're right, she followed up with that 9.35 on vault with a 9.9 on bars.
She's a very expressive gymnast. She reminds me so much of Anastasia Webb, who happens to be her idol. Lovely back handspring layout, step out.
She's also tall like Anastasia. She's 5'6" tall.
And she has a unique style that I know that she will just grow through these next 4 years, unafraid to be uniquely herself.
Sam mentioned that she took some time off after elite gymnastics, almost 2.5 years with a back injury. So any of you young gymnasts out there watching this, she decided to move to level 10, stayed motivated because she wanted to participate in collegiate gymnastics. And here she is fulfilling her dream, competing for the Sooners.
Round off double twist. Very nice job, because I could see the nerves. There was a little bit of nervous tension in her face. That's where you see it on balance beam, but she handled it. She managed it, and it's only going to get better. So as I said, the judges sit right on the side. They see if the gymnast hits that 180 split and if they finish the turn in the air. She was a little shy, but double twist, one of the harder dismounts to stick. And these landings, nice to see her go for it, though.
She followed up a 9.875 from Jenna Dunn. We'll get her score in a moment. Cameron Machado now for Alabama on the floor.
This is going to be a double pike. Later in the season, it will be a full twisting double back, but they want to ease that into the routine. Now watch this, very difficult. 1, 2, 3. It's called a triple wolf turn. She gets a lot of bonus. That's an E dance skill.
Last year, most of her contributions to Alabama were on the bars, where she was outstanding. Only did 2 beam routines. It's great to see her in the floor lineup this year.
Oh, wow. She avoided the fall,
right,
but it will be a big deduction. Just missed time. She looked like she ran out of gas a little bit early in the season, and I could see that even in her dance, she wasn't dancing full out, and some of that is you're saving the energy for the tumbling passes.
Our SEC Super Tuesday doubleheader starts at historic Memorial Gymnasium, with Vanderbilt hosting double-double threat Oscar Tshiebwe and the number 16 Kentucky at 7 Eastern. Then it's the Iron Bowl basketball style. Number 9 Auburn takes on number 15 Alabama. Both games are right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. One tap. Audrey Davis set to go now. The 2 Sooners, Jenna Dunn and Jordan Bowers, both had 9.875s.
And as eye-catching as her uneven bar routine is, this one is equally lovely. Very unique choice of skills. She's so flexible that she shows that off.
Averaged 9.913 all last year on beam.
Her acrobatic series is right here. Back handspring layout, step out. Very soft on the landing. I love the quality of her beam work. And she's going to back up and repeat that. She needed to connect this, so it'll be a leap right into a front aerial. She needed that connection, because if you don't have it, It is a huge deduction. You're missing the special requirement and the connection bonus.
Takes a lot of composure to back up and go for it again.
Very difficult range up. Didn't quite hit the perfect position in the air, but it's so difficult. Love her toe point. Presentation is so lovely. Just a slight little hop. That's going to be a great beam routine, especially as she gets more and more confident. Gets that experience in competition.
Competed in 15 of 16 meets last year as a freshman, and of course last year there were so many, you know, inconsistencies in the seasons and stops and starts, and once again, just hats off to these young ladies, because under, you know, once-in-a-century type of conditions, they're still putting out some fantastic gymnastics and giving us a lot of thrills in NCAA competition.
I had a chance to talk to some of them before the meet, and I wanted to share with them just how much admiration we have for them and respect for what they endure, how resilient they are.
Shania Adams, you see her floor average last year. She is one of the 2 all-arounders competing for Alabama today. She has a 9.8 on vault and a 9.85 on bars.
Very well done, double pike. It's funny, she describes herself as an introvert and very reserved, but she wanted to choose music that would bring out this part of her personality that she shares with friends and family.
Oh.
I'm not sure what happened.
No, that was unusual. We only have 1 score so far for Alabama they've posted. That's Emily Gaskin's 9.575. Do not yet have the score for Cam Machado.
Ends with her combination pass, the 2 saltos back to back. Okay, strong finish. Just that one part of the routine. I'm not exactly sure what happened. She was going into her leap series. I'm trying to see if she... Maybe, I can't even guess.
Up next on beam for the swimmers, Carrie Thomas.
We go back to the beam now for Oklahoma. By the way, 9.875 the score for Audrey Davis. So 3 scores of 9.875 for the Sooners. And here comes the senior from Florida, Carrie Thomas. She was out of the NCAA meet last year because she sprained her ankle at the regionals, and I believe they really missed her on beam last year. And during the off-season, she had a surgery, so great to see her back in the position where she belongs. She's superb here.
And she's so much a part of the heart of the team, especially this beam team, so she was very missed. I know they competed for her. Side somersault, very difficult. She regained her balance. It will be a fairly sizable deduction for that break.
She averaged 9.938 last year.
Macro series, back handspring layout, step out, very solid. Switch leap to straddle quarter. Now watch this. This is unusual. When I look at it, it's like, that is so hard to spot a full turn facing out away from the beam. She does it very effortlessly. Side aerial to full twist. Need a little bit more height and rotation on that dismount. Had to pike down and step forward. I think KJ will be very pleased with that. It is not easy to come back after last year and the heartbreak of missing it. But watch this, side somersault, really difficult to keep your center of gravity over the beam as you're flipping and turning sideways. As I said, this needed to just be a little bit higher, a little bit more rotation so that she can land with the chest up high.
Mentioned she had a surgery last year in the off season, the labrum of her hip. That's a tough surgery to endure. So they're keeping her numbers low just so they can, you know, nurse her through to the final competition of her senior season. Oklahoma won 4 of the last 7 NCAA championships and finished second last year to Michigan, who just had a lights-out competition at that spectacular meet in Fort Worth. We were there. Here is Maddie Malagora. She's had a 9.625 on wall and a 9.8 on bars today.
And we have not gotten to see her perform on floor because of injuries in both 20 and 21. Great to see her here. Dana Duckworth said this routine's a little sassy, a little snooty, but just so much fun to perform. Little soft knees on that front layout. The change into this classic tango.
Alabama scores here on floor are not impressive. Emily Gaskins 9.575, Cam Machado only a 9.15, Shania Adams only a 9.45. They need 3 big hit routines here. They trail the Sooners in this third of 4 rotations already.
I think that's a routine that they're going to be happy with. Really good to see her out on floor. So watch the form. The judges look for amplitude, height off the floor, and form in the legs. A front double twist, very difficult. That's one of those E passes. And the back 1.5 to front layout. You're allowed that step out in the direction that you land, but it can't be too large without getting a deduction.
Malagora getting the Crimson Tide back on track on floor. Here is Carly Woodard.
Carly is an excellent beamer. Strong-minded, extremely stubborn. And as KJ Kindler says, mediocrity is not in her vocabulary.
Currently applying to med school. This is where she shines, on the beam. Weren't sure we were going to see her today. We thought we might see Kat Lavasser on beam, but Carly got the call.
Difficult acro pass, the side aerial into the back handspring. We're seeing more and more side aerials into back handsprings and even layouts in collegiate gymnastics. It's a nice trend.
Carrie Thomas before her had a 9.6 after the first 3 9.875s for the Sooners.
One of the things I really like about Oklahoma's beam, and KJ Kindler enjoys this part of gorgeous leap there. Now that's beautiful position in the air, just a tiny bit of back foot on the second jump, but really nice to see that execution. But she likes unique choreography on beam. Changes it up each year, uses the skills they do so well year in and year out, but changes it up. Look at that. Beautifully stuck landing.
Luisa Blanco will be next up on the floor for Alabama. Earlier this week, we talked to her about that amazing season she had last year and what it was like going home to her new fans.
Honestly, going back home and seeing all the little ones just run up to me, or I'll have their parents or their moms like just be like, Luisa, you have no idea how much this means to my daughter. I always try my best to answer every single message. I didn't really have that growing up. So being that to somebody, it's just like, I can't even put it into words. It's awesome. And it just warms my heart every time I go home. It's like, all these little munchkins. And I'm like, I literally was you.
Lovely.
And this routine is as delightful and entertaining as she is humble and wonderful to her fans.
9.825 was the score for Waligora, so Crimson Tide doing better here now.
Gorgeous amplitude. That combined everything. Height off the floor, perfect leg form, and controlled landing.
Not everybody can point their toes in a pike double back, Abby.
And then she comes back with superb dance. Gorgeous positions in those leaps. And she really took great joy in creating this routine and choosing the music to highlight her Hispanic heritage. She's so proud of it and really wants to express that to the young girls out there looking up to her. Look at her go so high up on toe. It's the little things for me. I'm going to keep saying it. She is a photographer's dream. Like, you cannot take a bad picture anytime she's performing. Hits the positions.
Last year at the SEC Championships, she went all around. She was a co-champion on vault, bars, and beam. This is actually the only event she didn't win at the SECs, and yet how superb is this?
I mean, Bart, you could freeze frame her at any moment and find a gorgeous shot for the cover of your magazine. It is just really beautiful.
We go back to the beam now for the Sooners. Carly Woodard had a 9.95, so the one score they hope to drop would be the 9.6 from Carrie Thomas, but it comes down to what Reagan Smith can do here in the anchor position.
And I always have a smile on my face watching Reagan on beam. Her basic training for beam is just so good. She's aggressive. Oh! That's unusual. Looked like she didn't even have a chance to try to fight. You know, sometimes you can just really attack the landing, just follow through and finish strong. My guess is she was off on the back handspring. That is my favorite combination of her beam routine. That jump into the back handspring swing down. Difficult and so entertaining.
Fall on beam is a ½ point deduction. And so this will likely be the score they drop, and they'll count the 9.6 for Carrie Thomas. Disappointing on the beam because she is normally so good there, Kathy.
Absolutely. I know she's not going to be happy with it, and the score is not going to be there, but she is a great beamer. This won't happen again. She looked a little bit short of rotation, so like that front leg came down, but her body was still down, and now you got to stand up. She just didn't have enough rotation to follow through and finish strong.
Lexi Graber, the super senior. You see, she earned a share of the floor title last year at the NCAA Championships, coming after Luisa Blanco notched a 9.875.
And what a beautiful, emotional moment at those nationals it was. She was extraordinary in that routine. Little adjustment there on that landing. Love the way those leaps went with the music so perfectly. Strong finish.
That's tough at the end.
That is, especially this early in the season to be in that kind of conditioning.
Front step out to a pike double at the end. That's tough. Takes a lot of endurance.
And she danced full out, so you could tell she was ready to start this season, fully prepared to really go all out on floor. This is going to be a good routine all season long for her, and for Alabama, of course.
Well, you hear Boomer Sooner in the background. That's because the Oklahoma Sooners have the lead as they get set for the 4th and final rotation. Sam is with their head coach, KJ Kindler, now.
Thanks, Bart. KJ, you guys have had some highs and some lows in this competition so far. What surprised you tonight?
Nothing really, to be honest with you. I think, in that first meet of the year, you're ironing things out. There's a lot of people who are out there for the first time. None of them have been out there in 8 months, so we're seeing a little bit of nerves. I think that's really what it comes down to, and those will be worked out in the future.
Well, everyone looks forward to your floor routines every year. Is there a routine you're particularly excited about?
I love them all, so no, I can't say that. Reagan's has great energy at the end. I think she's a great anchor routine, but honestly, I love watching them all.
All right, thanks, KJ. Bart, back to you.
Thank you, KJ, and thank you, Sam. Okay, Oklahoma has the lead by a little over a point. As we go to the 4th and final rotation, the Sooners will be moving to the floor exercise, and Alabama needs to come back on the beam if they hope to win their opening meet of the season.
You got this, Tide. You already know. Bring home the natty.
Why not Bama?
Why not? Why not?
Number 3, Georgia takes on number 1 Alabama tomorrow night at 8 Eastern in the national championship game presented by AT&T. For the 9th straight year, we're blowing our coverage out with coverage on every platform, TV, radio, and digital. So many ways to watch and listen to the biggest game of the year. Take a look at the preseason rankings in women's collegiate gymnastics. Michigan and Florida already competed this weekend, and both of them had record-setting season-high scores to open the season, well over 197. Both of them, Oklahoma here, the 3rd-ranked team in that preseason poll, and of course, Alabama is 6th. But we will see all of these teams on the ESPN family of networks, and what a weekend we have next Friday night, we have Georgia at Kentucky, and then Auburn at Arkansas. Those two are on the SEC network. Then on ESPN2, Oklahoma will be at Utah. And then how about this, Kathy? We're all going to be down in Gainesville, Florida for the first time ever. A regular season dual meet, this one between Alabama and Florida, will be on ABC. Looks like this college gymnastics thing is catching on. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's on fire. Everybody's so excited. We have waited for this year because it was delayed. 2020 Olympics ended up 2021. Everybody has waited for these athletes to make their debut in collegiate gymnastics. So this is going to be perhaps the best collegiate gymnastics season ever.
Certainly some of the marquee names, many of them Olympic athletes from the recent games in Tokyo entering NCAA competitions. What a year we have teed up for you on ESPN. We'll be back. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. We are getting set for the 4th and final rotation. Here is a quick recap. The Sooners have led wall to wall. Their lead now 1.175. The highlight in that 3rd rotation was Carly Woodard's 9.95 on beam, a career high for her. So Alabama will be on the beam, and it's tough to come back when you're down and win a dual meet when you're losing going into the 4th and final rotation, and you have to be on the beam. But it has happened before, Kathy.
It has. And Dana Duckworth is an excellent beam coach. This is her baby. It's her event. And each year that she's been head coach, she's been able to rely more on her staff on the other events so she could focus on this and really prepare her team. Because balance beam is like no other event. There's so much time up there to get into your head, and you really need to get into your rhythm. Stay calm, stay relaxed, stay very present, and not overcorrect if something is slightly off.
Ella Burgess now leading off. Great to see her in the lineup. She was out all of 2021 after having suffered an Achilles injury, did not compete last year, and here she is in the leadoff spot in 2022.
You'll see a lot more gymnasts smiling on balance beam now. It is really, they've studied it. It helps you relax, get into a rhythm. Watch that one arm back handspring to lay out, step out. Look how determined and aggressive she's attacking this routine.
While she was not competing, she really developed as a great leader, was one of those sideline cheerleaders and coaches that really helped Alabama. And of course, Alabama won the SEC championship in a huge upset last year over Florida and LSU.
I like how when she finishes a skill, it is very definitive. This is a good one. She needs to focus all the way to the end, not get ahead of herself. Side aerial to a full and a stick. What
a moment.
Routine. That is fantastic. So happy for this gymnast.
Oh, she
It's a long way back
that.
from a torn Achilles. It's a long way back. And she has made it. And what a moment that she will not forget. So aggressive, so determined, and lovely.
Oh, look at
the
that
same time.
face. So great. You know,
That's
it wasn't
joy.
that many years ago that a torn Achilles was the end of a career. How cool that she's able to celebrate that moment here with her teammates. Back now to the floor for Oklahoma. Here is Audrey Davis. You see her scores tonight, highlighted by that 9.95 on bars.
And you heard KJ Kindler, she loves all these routines. I love the diversity of the music and the choreography. This is a modern, bluesy routine, and Audrey chose her own music. Opens with a nice front double twist. You see that nice set off the floor into it. Back 1.5 to front layout. Oh, just out of bounds. There is something so wonderful about a routine that you can feel, not just watch. From the music to the movement, they were so well put together.
Let's go down to Sam. She has a report on Makari Doggett, who will be next up for Alabama on beam.
Yeah, thanks, Bart. You'll see a lot of familiar faces in this Bama beam lineup this year, but an interesting change they made was switching Makari Doggett earlier in the lineup because that's what she felt like would make her more comfortable. She also changed her dismount to a round off 1.5, so look out for that as well, Kathy.
I love that Dana made that change. They really want to be aggressive in the choice of their elements. They don't want to play it too safe. Of course, you have to balance that risk-reward that we talk about.
Talk about a masterful coaching job that she has done on beam. She said to Makari in the offseason, what would make you feel more comfortable on beam? And she says, well, to be honest, I want to go early in the lineup. She's done it.
Beam is such a fluid event, and it's also the connection with your teammates. To become a really great beam team, you have to establish that almost as if you're one. You have each other's back, There are going to be little mistakes here and there, but you build it together. Very nice routine, punctuated, beautiful toe point. Here's the new dismount. Round off 1.5 twist, just a step on that landing. Take a little time to adjust to a new skill. Such a nice combination, the split jump. Now she does a tuck open. Notice she went into a tuck position very briefly, kicked out of it and swing down. 1.5 twist, didn't quite get that shape after the 1.5 twist, where you're just parallel to the floor and you could just float it down and feel your way to the landing.
On floor for the Sooners coming up now is sophomore Belle Johnson from Norman. I'm proud to say that she's one of 4 gymnasts on the OU team from Bart Conner Gymnastic Academy here in Norman. Our head coach there is Christian Ivanov.
Well, this is a fun, jazzy routine with big, sharp, sassy movement.
She averaged 9.869 last year as a freshman.
She really knows how to perform this routine. You can tell she's enjoying it, but she also knows the positions to hit, where to look, how to use her expression, her facial expression, and her body movement. And the tumbling was pretty darn good. Front layout to a Rudy to open. That's a 1.5 twist.
She followed up after Audrey Davis had a 9.725. Emily Gaskins set to go with that unusual mount on beam coming after Makari Doggett had a 9.725. Ella Burgess, a great 9.85 to lead them off. Kathy, you and Sam are both superb on the balance beam. What do you guys think of that mount?
Oh, it's a very popular mount. I've never done it, so I don't even know what it feels like, but it's always a crowd pleaser. Emily is such a beautiful beam worker. When she feels confident and is aggressive on this routine, she can just be spectacular here. She has nice form, beautiful flexibility. She just has to stay relaxed, not let the nerves start to creep up. Just stay calm, patient right here, and attack this landing just like that. Switch leap. The back leg was a little bit low. I love that she kept that toe pointed and leg locked out straight though. Nice gainer fold, just a slide back. Dana's going to be happy with that routine because I don't think she was originally in the lineup for this competition. So she stepped into it and delivered.
She was an altered on beam, and she got the call here in this final rotation.
And that's what Dana loves about her. It's like, I've got this.
Emma LaPinta will be next up for the Sooners on the floor. This is always a spunky routine coming after Belle Johnson notched a 9.9 for her clean exercise.
This is a fun, upbeat routine, and I'm happy to say it's to the music. She always had trouble finding the beat. KJ had her walking around with headsets on her freshman year.
Look at this highlight, though.
Woo! Triple twist, one of the most difficult passes done, and also the most difficult to stay clean and deduction free. Front full to front layout, nice float in that second somersault. Short on that second leap, the jump. She needed to turn just a little bit more in the air.
Well, she had a great 2021 season. NCAA Elite 90 award winner, Big 12 Scholar Athlete of the Year, and she averaged over 9.9 on floor.
Good routine. Strong finish. Could have gotten her arms up just a little bit more into that double back, but well done.
Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. The documentary series Our Time is back for another season. Every Thursday, go all access with the Baylor men's and women's basketball teams. You'll get an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at both programs with never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches. Sign up today at espnplus.com/Big12Now. Shania Adams now on beam. Emily Gaskins is 9.75 before her.
Beautiful form on that front aerial. Handsman layout, step out, nicely done. Ooh. Lost her balance on the hop back. I like the combination of her flexibility and power. She uses both well on this event. Leaning back just a little bit on that double wolf turn.
Wow.
But she finessed it. I think her eyelashes saved her on that one. Just a little bat of the eye, and it shifted the center of gravity. Oh, I like the back leg on that leap. Unfortunately, she may not get credit for that connection because you can't have any pause or any slight balance issue between the skills to get the connection bonus. Whoa, hold on to that stick. A lot of fight in that routine. It was not perfect, so she had some issues that she had to really fight through.
Typically very consistent on bars and beam. She's shown less consistency on floor and vault, but all the coaches have been telling us, you know, they all need this first meet just to kind of see where they are. You know, you do all the preseason prep, but it's not the same until you get in a gym, in competition, on TV. It's different, isn't it?
KJ Kindler's description was perfect. They're ironing things out still. And these coaches don't want them to try for perfection right now. Be aggressive, trust your training, and let's see where we are.
We're going to like this. This is Carly Woodard coming after Emma LaPinta at a 9.825.
Front double twist, a little bit of a large step out. They'll take a slight deduction there. Did I mention I like the blues?
Yes, you did.
Love it.
I have nothing wrong with it either. She only did one floor routine for them last year. We saw it. It was a 9.825.
Interesting technique on that first skill. Kind of dropped her arm to twist. Beautiful feet on those leaps. Really shows off that toe point.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I like this.
How about that?
I love the music, the choreography. I want to see her milk it just a little bit more, and I think that'll happen through the course of this season.
Only 2 events for the Sooners today, but she got a 9.95 on beam, and that was a treat. Senior Carly Woodard from Overland Park, Kansas. Oh, look at that. Tom Haley, part of the coaching staff. We talk about KJ Kindler all the time, but this entire staff, including KJ's husband Lou Ball, you see in the background there, 16 years they've been in charge of this program, and they have been the most dominant team in the last decade of women's NCAA gymnastics.
They work well together. I call them Oklahoma Machine. They are a well-oiled machine.
Shania Adams had only a 9.525, so the highest score for Alabama was their leadoff, 9.85 from Ella Burgess. Here is Maddie Walagora.
That handspring layout step out. I love that she really finished that so strong. It looked like she almost moved that front foot before she started the series. Thought she was a little off, so well done. Very solid on the side aerial. Good elevation off the beam and a difficult second jump, that tuck jump with a full turn. And a 1.5 twist.
Great.
Perfect control on that landing. Yep, that's one to be excited about.
Her scores today range from 9.625 on vault. She had a 9.8 in bars and a 9.825 on floor.
Did you see that foot move at the beginning? I thought, whoa. I kind of panicked, but I didn't need to. See, she knew she had it.
And we go back to the floor now for the Sooners. That score for Carly Woodard, by the way, is in now after her 9.95 on beam, a 9.9. And this is young freshman Jordan Bowers. You see her scores today. A big rebound after that unlucky vault in the first rotation. This could be a highlight, however. She has it all here.
She has an intensity about her that I really love. It's deliberately intense choreography.
Oh,
look at the lift. It continued to rise on that pike double back. Difficult pass.
She stayed in bounds.
I know. Needs to clean up the form a little on that front handspring, but look how she milks everything.
Even KJ told us the other day, when you see her, you'll think about Anastasia Webb. Both tall, and I think the term she used was slinkety. Oh, her technique is great.
This is going to be a great routine because I can just, it will get better and better and richer as she performs it. I love how she uses her facial expression so perfectly for the mood of the routine. Here's the first pass.
Wow.
That was my favorite pass in the whole routine.
All three of us announcers could have walked underneath that double back.
Front double twist, opens up that front toe. Oh, she did step out of bounds.
I didn't see a flag go up. So if the flag didn't go up, they might not have seen it. I don't know that there was a line judge over on that side of the floor. So insignificant whether she gets away with it or not, because the Sooners are going to win this one today. 9.925 was the score for Maddie Walagora. That's a huge score for Alabama here, and Luisa Blanco will be their final performer in this event.
And sets up one of the most beautiful beamer performers in the country. She is exquisite on this event. She had some issues in that final touch warm-up, but a true beamer can work through those, make those corrections. It's this triple series, 2 layouts in a row. Oh, She took out the second one, probably wise. It was what she was struggling with a little bit in the warm-ups.
Here's a fun fact about her. There's only one other gymnast at Alabama that has won the SEC Beam and NCAA championship in the same season, and guess who that is? Her coach, Dana Duckworth.
Look at the high releve. She goes up so high on her toes. Everything is just so picture perfect. Gorgeous back leg on those leaps. Would have liked to seen a little bit more split, but I know why she didn't now. She was slightly off in the air and couldn't quite hit that optimum position in the air. But even slightly off, she is gorgeous. It's a treat watching her on balance beam.
I think those who've not tried the beam don't realize how many thousands of corrections go on mid-air.
Oh.
When you're going for a big leap and all of a sudden you feel off.
It's constant.
It's incredible how many
And it's kind of like riding the
made.
bike. When you ride a bike, you don't sit there and concentrate on every single little turn of the wheel. You feel it, and you keep the rhythm going, and you make those slight corrections as needed. The lovely flexibility, she really has everything for beam.
You see Reagan Smith average last year just under 9.9 on the floor. This is always a treat as well.
Reagan chose her own music too, and she can perform the heck out of this routine.
Scores in for Jordan Bowers. It's a 9.925.
Very nice form on the 1.5 twist. Little soft knees on the layout, but that's being picky. What an enjoyable routine. I was smiling from start to finish. This is going to be another good one for Oklahoma.
She deserves a great year this year, doesn't she, Kathy?
She does. And that final tumbling pass, well, let's take a look at the second pass first. Back 1.5, very good form. Just a slight soft knees on that front layout. As I said, that's being picky. But these are the kind of routines you want to see them just perfect everything. Wonderful position in that straddle jump. Just oversplit.
And the Sooners will get the win. By the way, quick scoring update. Luisa Blanco, the anchor performer for Alabama on the beam, had a 9.85. So a lot of happy folks here in Norman, Oklahoma. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up. It's a great season opener for both of these teams. A little bit of a gut check is what they have and what they don't have. But these two teams will certainly be contending for championships at the end of the year. Gymnastics meets for you next weekend. Boy, it all starts on Friday with a triple header. Georgia, Kentucky, and Auburn, Arkansas on the SEC Network, followed by Oklahoma, Utah on ESPN2. Then next Sunday, the first ever regular season gymnastics meet on ABC when Alabama takes on Florida at 3 Eastern. We will be down there. And what a slate of gymnastics we have for you on the ESPN family of networks. The Oklahoma Sooner get the win today in their home opener, that 197-4. Only 4 teams so far this opening weekend scored over 197, and the Sooners get the win today. And let's go down to Sam Pesek, who is with their head coach, KJ Kindler.
Thanks, Bart. Congratulations on your win here today. You told me that this meet was going to be a benchmark meet to see where you're at. What did you learn from today's competition?
Oh my goodness, do you have a notebook? Because I've been taking notes in my head the entire meet. you know, we had a lot of new faces out there, and you could see a little bit of those nerves working on them a little bit. But so excited, 2 back-to-back 10s on vault. Like, you can never complain about that. Definitely have some work to do there, but like just little things across the board. Just so exciting to get them back out here and to get them in the feel of it again. Just really proud of my girls.
Thanks, KJ.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the meet summary for today. 2 career 10s for Kat Lavasser and Allie Stern. That was terrific. And the other 4 vaults were less impressive for the Sooners. However, those 2 10s kept them in the game after the first rotation. Audrey Davis, her first career all-around, had a little bit of a hiccup on vault, but she came back very strong, and we're happy for her there. 9-3, 39-3-2-5. Alabama Crimson, well, 2 career highs on beam, with Ella Burgess coming back after that Achilles injury. And Maddie Walagora did the all-around today and did a terrific job on beam in that final rotation. The Sooners with a 197.4 and Alabama with a 195.875. Well, Kathy, your impression of this home opener for the Oklahoma Sooners and, you know, the visiting Crimson Tide?
Oh, I can see both of these head coaches because they are thinkers. I am sure they have a mental notebook that is just pages long right now. There were so many good things to be happy about. Nice to see new faces out there, new talent out there, feeling what it feels like under competitive nerves, you know, and they showed a little bit, but you learn from that and you move on. So I saw some good things.
At the top of the show, we talked about the big challenge for the Sooners this year is to replace those 4 scores from Anastasia Webb, who graduated. And one of those athletes to step up in the all-around today was Audrey Davis. Had a highlight of a 9.95 on bars, and right now she's with Sam Pesic.
Yeah, that's right, Bart. First time doing the all-around, first time winning the all-around. What'd you think about your performance here tonight?
I think that I did a really great job tonight. There's a lot to improve on, and I think that the competition that we had really helped. Alabama is a great team, and we really brought our best today, and we did a great job as a team, and I'm very proud of myself. First time doing all-around in 3 years, so it's been a while. I was proud of myself.
Knocking those cobwebs off. Yeah. Early career win for your team to beat Alabama. What's the focus going into the meet next weekend?
To really just sharpen up on the landings and make sure that everything that we're doing is on point and everything that we do in practice comes here, because we are a spot-on team, and I'm very proud of my team and how we did tonight, and we just have a lot to grow from.
All right, thank you, Audrey. Bart, did you hear that?
Yeah, things looking good for the Sooners. They had a 197.4 today, and of course next week they're going to go out to Utah on their opening weekend. This weekend they had a 197.1 in the Best of Utah, and of course they're one of the iconic programs in women's collegiate gymnastics. So lots of great stuff coming up on ESPN. All right, looks like Sam Pesic has Allie Stern with her from the Oklahoma Sooners.
Allie, you're a senior and you scored your first career 10. What went through your mind when you saw that score pop up?
I don't know. I kind of didn't know what to think. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But Kat set me up really well, and I just did the vault I know I could do.
Well, you already scored a 10, so what's the goal for the rest of the season on vault?
To keep getting them and to keep sticking them.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you, Bart. Did you hear that? She's going to keep getting those 10s weekend after weekend.
I can't resist. Stick them and they will come.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Well, great start for her. And when we come back here to Norman, Oklahoma, we'll wrap this one up with final thoughts on this season opener for the Sooners, 197.4, Alabama 195.875. Better starts at historic Memorial Gymnasium with Vanderbilt hosting double threat Oscar Tshiebwe and number 16 Kentucky at 7 Eastern. Then it's the Iron Bowl basketball style. Number 9 Auburn takes on number 15 Alabama. Both games are right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Here is the final score. The number 3 ranked Oklahoma Sooners with an impressive 197.4 to open their season. Alabama showed a bit of inconsistency but great potential, scoring yet only a 195.875. Alabama next week will go down to Gainesville, Florida, and we'll be there because they take on the Florida Gators in our first regular season meet ever on ABC Network. It's going to be great. Hi, everybody. I'm Bart Connor, along with my fellow Olympic medalist, Kathy Johnson. Let's talk a little bit about some of the highlights that we saw today. I think we all expected a few hiccups because it's early season. All the coaches are trying to work the kinks out. So we saw some of the kinks, and we saw some great gymnastics.
Absolutely. And we didn't talk about it a lot because it is kind of the new normal. COVID protocol is going to change things so that when an athlete isn't available, others have to step in those lineups. That's the big takeaway here. We saw new people stepping into situations they haven't been in, and they did a great job. There are things to work on, there are things to build on, and I think that's the important thing for both of these teams.
Highlights for the Sooners, of course, were the 2 perfect 10s on vault.
What a wow moment times 2. It was, she almost surprised herself on that landing. It's like, wow, I don't need to move. That was awesome. So very exciting to start your season off. 10-0 vaults, and as I said, she wants to score some more. I was like, you know what? Build it, they will come.
And Cam Machado did a terrific job for Alabama on the bars, and this is an event that they were superb on last year, and they have enormous potential again this year.
I love to see them fight through the little bit of quirks throughout the routine, but they stayed focused. Audrey Davis was just
sublime.
Sublime. That's a perfect word. And adding this half twist, that's a game changer for this gymnast, because that is your best bar routine you may see in NCAA.
How about this beam routine?
It was so wonderful, especially knowing her story.
Right.
Didn't get to finish the postseason, hurt her ankle at regionals, and just for her to get back on the beam and feel that moment was wonderful.
Luisa Blanco on floor for Alabama.
Just lovely as can be. She is the epitome of grace, but she also has the power, the technical precision on the very difficult skills as well. Fun gymnast to watch.
Nalia Wadagora had a terrific day in the all-around.
So calm, so aggressive, from start to finish. Just a picture-perfect landing. And this is an exciting gymnast that we're going to see a lot of over the next 4 years. So dynamic in her presentation, so unique, and just fearless in terms of being herself out on the floor. I love it.
And what a terrific story. A young lady who was in that elite track and kind of got burnt out, had a back injury, took off 2.5 years, stayed a level 10, and now she is fulfilling her gymnastics dream here as a collegiate gymnastics. I love seeing that story, don't you?
I do. Incredibly inspiring.
All right, the Sooners get the win in Norman. Next week, they'll have to take on Utah. They'll have to be even better to beat the Utes out there. Crimson Tide visiting the Oklahoma Sooners on this opening weekend of the season. A lot of gymnastics took place going back till Thursday, actually, with teams competing all around the country. They will compete throughout till April 16th, where the NCAA championships will take place. Alyssa Bauman gave some highlights for the Florida Gators, and they had a huge score in their opening weekend, 197.675.
And check out this vault by Haley Bryant of LSU. Just flew off that table with a very difficult vault. And Olivia Dunn nails the double layout. There was so much excitement in that gym.
How about Jordan Weber's Arkansas Razorbacks?
They showed such great resilience competing in their season opener. Great work on floor exercise by Kennedy Hambrick.
So around the NCAA this weekend, #1 Michigan defeated #15 Georgia with that huge score, highest opening meet score in program history, a 197.75. I understand they used only 7 athletes, 5 of them all-arounders, so Michigan is big time.
There was buzz out there saying they could compete in nationals tomorrow. They did not.
With half a team.
Exactly.
That's amazing. #2 Florida earns their season opening program best with a huge score as well. But look what we have for next weekend. Georgia, Kentucky, and then Auburn, Arkansas on the SEC network. Those are on Friday night heights. And then later on, it's Friday Oklahoma and Utah on ESPN2. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll all be down in Gainesville covering Alabama as they visit Florida in our first meet ever on the ABC network in the regular season. Well, final thoughts from Sam and Kathy quickly.
Weekend so far, we saw so many great things, but you also have to note that it is COVID time, so this isn't a complete lineup that we're going to see throughout the season. Both of these teams are going to build from here.
Our final score, Oklahoma 197-4, Alabama 195-875. Coming up next is the Path to College Football Playoff presented by AT&T 5G. For Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Pesic, I'm Bart Connor. So long from Norman.